I'm Jayson Waller here with Jayson Waller Unleashed. I want to name it Motherfucking Unleashed, but there's not enough letters to make that fit. You got Jayson Waller up above it, and you got Unleashed over here in the right corner. And if you were to put Motherfucking Unleashed, it'd just be too long. It'd be a shit show. However, that's not a shit show. I got Mr. Organized himself, Mr. AKA more white than white can be, my man John Leblanc. How you doing, bud?
Coming off of a hard winter up here in Michigan, man. The sun's just about to come out. Hopefully the solar panels start shining a little bit and producing, and I am loving the weather in Michigan. I know you hate Michigan now, but whatever. It is what it is.
I love the Lions.
How do you not... Did you go to the draft, by the way?
No, we talked about it. Christian really wanted to go. And we were like, I promise we're going to go. But then I started looking at it. You couldn't like buy tickets. Like it was just general admission. You had to get hooked up to getting some VIP things. And the problem was, as you saw how many people, there's 775,000, like 250,000 a day or whatever it was. And the problem is you're stuck. It's kind of like when you go watch the ball drop in New York. If you're out in that crowd, you can't go pee or poop or get food. You're stuck. And for the VIP boxes to be there, we're drafting all the way at the time, 27th or 8th, 29th, whatever it was. That was fucking like, no way, right? Then we bumped up to 14th. That might have been worth it, but we watched it at home. We played a poker game. It was fine. Yeah, I went to the draft a couple of years ago. We drafted Aiden Hutchinson, but we had the number 2 pick. And we had VIP passes. We're backstage. We're near the green room. We're meeting players. That's a different environment. I'd have loved to have been there for the city, but, like I love the team and I love the people. I do not like the fucking the state of Michigan. So let's make that clear.
We went down
liberal
there.
Fucks there. Liberal fucks live in Michigan. Just so we're clear.
I think it's 50-50.
Dude, they're fucking brainwashed fucking dumbasses, okay? It's crazy to me how fucking liberal it is. You saw how it shut down like we were third world fucking units and fucking COVID, and fucking Florida's wide open. North Carolina's wide open. Fucking Michigan, they got tanks driving by making sure fucking, hey, get in your house. Like it was chaos.
It was chaos.
Because they're fucking, dude, they're sheep. They're sheep. Not all. The Detroit versus everybody people, the fucking Lions fans, the people that bust their ass, the blue collar, some of the white collar, those are my peeps. But there's a handful of motherfuckers there that support that fucking horrible governor you guys got and the horrible judges you guys got. And it's just a fucking, dude, it's a shit show, dude. And it's not good. It's not a good place for me to build a business. I would love to go there and add jobs and do stuff. I can't fathom it because how Detroit treated me. Like the overall, like, fuck that. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel betrayed.
Well, look, there's some people that love you still around here.
Yeah, no, you do, motherfucker. I love you too, man. There's a handful. Barry checks in every now and then. Calvin checks in every now and then. Nino at Bella Piatti checks in. Like I get some people, Jay Feldman checks in. Right boy Rick, who also lives in Miami. I mean, I get some people, but Jack Fox, the punter, shout out to him. But and shout out to Gucci and Emin, right? And Lita and Mark. There you go. So those are still my peeps. But there are peeps that, like Dino's a dickhead now and some other people.
You did a whole podcast about that without saying his name.
I did now. I hope the motherfucker listens to it. What a prick. It's very disappointing, dude. It's funny how people are around for the money. And when they're like, we talk about this, and then when they're not, like, it's just sad that that's how people are. We were just talking earlier about someone who stole from me, like, literally stole my credit card information and spent thousands of dollars. And it was someone we knew close. Like, how do you do that? Like, I am a son of a bitch. I am an asshole and I'm hard to work for. But I push people to try to do the best, or maybe I crumble a little bit because I'm a dick and I just expect so much from them. But I don't lie, cheat, and steal from people. I could never do that. I don't ask for anything. I don't fucking want favors. I don't want freebies. I don't want to take advantage of people. I always want to try. But you got fucking people that I was close to that you think are good people, and they're serpents. They're fucking snakes. It's crazy to me. Like, how do you go to sleep at night knowing you're stealing from somebody? What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's like if anyone else told me that story, I would not have believed it.
it was hard for me to believe as it was happening and still because I'm so shocked and appalled. But, you know, um, Benny B, you know, close friend, stole from the company. And then this person steals from me personally. It's just crazy to me. It's wild to me. And you don't have to comment on that because you're close to Ben. So you have no comment. I'm not throwing you in on that one. But look, it's crazy to me that these things, that people can do that and go to sleep at night. And I have a problem with people that act like something they're not. You know, I believe in God. I pray all the time. You know, a born again Christian. We've been baptized as a family. I cuss a little bit. You know, I'm not perfect. Well, none of us are perfect. You know, I sin a little bit, but I don't push my religion or my belief in God like I'm bigger or better, right? Or more in the path of Jesus than anybody else. But some people do that so much because they're hiding stuff. And that's what I saw in Benny B. Just my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, when you're like, hey, we're going to eat some peanuts. Y'all want to say grace? Y'all? Boom, baby. I wish I could see that fuck stick in an alley. Just saying. I bet he'd run.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting interaction.
Oh, it'd be like 5 seconds, dude. Come on. It's not even close. Fucking Eric Randisi was going to whip his ass a long time ago. That's my shots at Ben. This ain't about Ben. But the people listen to be like, oh my God, I can't believe that was said. But I you know, we went down that alley. When I start thinking of thieves and people stealing, unfortunately, he's in that blanket. But what's crazy is he's an integrity-driven dude who did such a great job at our company and always pushed integrity at our company. That's what's crazy. So I don't want to get that twisted like his character affected the way he did business. His character was self-indulgent of himself taking advantage of the company, not people taking advantage of customers. I do got to say that. Because he did run a tight ship and got rid of people if they ever did the wrong thing. I'll give him credit for that. But when it came to himself, I think that he hated me so much, he was so envious that he justified in his brain, they're going to do so well on this company that I can do this and they won't miss it. That's what he did in his brain, in his little fucking redneck brain.
Yeah, I mean, I have, I'm close with him, so I can't,
No comment for you.
On it, but it's just, he's always been, between him and I, our relationship, it's always been, fine. It's been good. So
I'm sure you wouldn't open a business with him and let him, and let him have access to your Amex, but you don't have to say that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it is wild, especially with that one, people that are closest, that was surprising to me even, and I've been out of it for the longest time. But hearing that is crazy. So
I still have to live it all the time because, there were 24 lawsuits, 21 have been dismissed, 3 are still pending, 2 in fucking Michigan. Lawyers, the judge, like, yeah, we'd like to hear this shit. I'm like, are you hear what? Like, what are you going to hear? Like, I didn't even ever sign a customer up. What are we talking about here? But so there's still 3 pending, but 21 are gone, like dismissed. The right move, you open a company doesn't work, you got liabilities on the manufacturer, there's a huge lawsuit, there's an investigate, like all those things going on. You can't be like, oh, the people running the company, you can't do that. So 21 of the judges got it right. The other 3 are still figuring it out, and we got to go through the process. But I have to live that shit all the time. I still have to pay attorney's fees. I still have to, it is a fucking nightmare, dude. I mean, there's not a day. I try not to be bitter, dude. Like, I wake up positive and think about it, but there's days, this is a true story. I sat in my shower yesterday thinking, because I found out my brother was really sick, and then I found out he wasn't. But we thought, like, he was terminally ill. And we were freaking out, and he was freaking out. And I was just, like, praying to God, like, how does and God answered our prayers because he's okay, thank God. But I'm sitting there upset in the shower, and I'm like, get emotional, just think about it. I'm like, there's not a day that goes by that I just want to ask, the guy that runs Generac, Aaron, yeah, like, why? Why would you do this to our customers, our employees, me, my family? Like, why? Because this has been the hardest 19 months of my life. Period. People are like, oh, it's the hardest. It's been the hardest on my kids getting bullied. It's been the hardest on my wife getting bullied. Hardest on me getting bullied. Like, I'm down to fight, but people say hateful shit. rejection, losing people that I thought were my friends, like, losing everything that we've ever made. Like, we've had to sell everything and try to start over. Trying to start a new business is hard. And then it's really hard when you're already in the hole and you're stacked against you and you got to bring people up. Like, it's really hard. And then you try to do a coaching thing and it's hard because it's like, some people are like, I want all the coaching you give me. And then some people are like, I don't know what happened with this shit. So it's like, you can't build your brand. We have a huge reality TV show it's supposed to be done and we were going to sell it and hopefully things be great. And that had to go on a back burner because there's issues with Generac and that lawsuit. All of these things, my life's in just pause turmoil. It's just so hard and it's just unfortunate. I always like, why? He doesn't realize the impact it had. And not just on me, the 2,400 employees. It impacted you. It impacted people here. It impacted customers. Like, all they had to do was do a fucking recall, dude. Like, fucking own it and say, guys, our part's fucked up. We're going to do a national recall. Like, they do that, our fucking ratings not bad, our fucking sales don't go down. They work with us and prepay us to go fix shit, not tell us they're going to pay us to fix shit and never pay us. They start paying the customer rebates. We don't have to pay them where we're in the hole bigger. Like, all of these things. And it's just crazy to me. It's corporate fucking theft from them, and I don't know. Hopefully we make a movie about it one day and that guy pays and even then I don't hate and want the worst for him. As bad as everything that happened with him, I don't hate and want the worst for him. I'd love to fight him for charity in age, but I don't hate him. I don't even hate Ben. I dislike Ben and I'm heartbroken. It's funny because I was listening to Ben do his deposition, right? And I don't know if I told you this, but I was like, and he's like saying all things about the company. And I was like, man, I miss this dude, man. Like all the things. And he was like, we got offensive coordinator, defense. He's going through all the process of the company because, he helped build a lot of the great things at Power Home, especially on the sales side. He helped build all that. You helped build all that. Like all of these things that we had for compliance and sales. It was just it was impressive, right? And I was just like, oh, I miss that guy. I miss the relationship with him because he's a fun dude's dude, right? Mm-hmm. And then he goes on his hate streak for the last 5 minutes and Jayson's this and that. And it's like, God, he's so envious and bitter. Now I remember why I don't like him. And it's like, ugh. But I don't hate him. I don't fucking hate him. And I don't hate the guy that fucking at Generac. I just really, 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 really dislike him. And I don't hate the person that was close to me that stole tens of thousands of dollars on my credit card. I don't hate them.
Hate's
a big word, right?
Hate's a strong word. We say that in the Leblanc house too. Just say, hate's a strong word. You can not like someone or just agree to disagree, but hate's very, very strong. And you can always find forgiveness deep down inside, and it makes you heal a little bit better too, right? You can't just carry that around with you because it gets freaking heavy. Yeah. But funny you brought that up. I was going with a former colleague going through some of our old text threads of performance, install performance, and sales performance, and dude, seeing what we used to put out on a daily basis, and then wrap a month up, and I'm still in solar, right? Like I've consulted with solar companies. We were buttoned up
to a T, baby. Like nobody's ever like that.
Buttoned up. We had all the way from onboarding to training to what we said. When you get so big, it's tough to control, but man, it was fun. It was fun.
On the outside looking in, people that don't realize it, they think, oh, this company's just out of control. And it was because we were so big. And yeah, we had so many service issues and complaints, but people got to understand when you have 40,000 customers, 40,000, if you have 400 complaints, it's 1%. Mm-hmm. So if we have 400 issues at any given time, 1% of our customers are having issues. And we were able to manage and mitigate that to over industry standard of the best service company out there and maintain our A+. I always say we were completely buttoned up, but because all these other people in solar aren't, they have their own opinion of what we were because they weren't us. They have their own theory of what they were. And it's like, dude, you don't know how fucking great of a company we built that was always putting the customer first and was very compliant and did all the right things. Now, yes, we made mistakes. Yes, we broke shit, but we always made it right by the customer and fixed it. In fact, even with Generac's mistake of their system not performing, we were writing millions of dollars of checks to rebate these customers, to rebate them. In promises from Generac, they'd pay us back that they never did. Talking like $6-7 million worth. So just craziness to me. That, like what you say, and I've consulted and helped some other solar companies out, and then I've actually fired some where I'm like, I don't like what you guys do, dude. Like, you guys are all over the fucking place, and like I don't even want my name near you. Like, you know, and I got a black eye personally, being the face. It sucks. My wife's always like, you know, the other owners don't get the black eye, and I'm like, I know, but they're not the CEO. They weren't the face. Like, you know, it's not their fault that they're not getting the black eye too, and I don't want bad for them also. But, you know, I've taken a lot of heat and been called a crook and all these things that are just wrong. And you know me, like, you know who, you were close to me before you came to work for us and after, and you were my trainer and you're my friend. And, you know, but people that don't know me that are I will say that are infatuated or intimidated or in awe of my presence because I can be polarizing, they hurry up and quick to make themselves feel better, in my opinion, hurry up and say, oh, they had to do something fucking stupidly wrong. That's why they were so successful. Like, they can't accept that we did all the right things to be successful and then something broke us that made us look bad. That's what's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because I run into people all the time that are like, I always thought, like, you know, you were like a total dick, like you wouldn't talk to me. Like, you know, and I've got people like, no, like, what are you talking about? But it's this perception they had.
Yeah. I mean, to that point, I think, like I said, like knowing what I know now, man, it was like with all the resources that we put into, um, training and compliance, HR. I mean, look, it was a very fast growing company. So if there was an issue, it was, the people that, we depended and relied on that grew really fast with the company that, had to step up. It's like a young teenage mom or a young teenage dad, having to step up and lead and take care of people, and thousands of people too, right? We had a lot of that, and we were able to figure it out. But knowing what I know outside, I was like, man, I'd put it up against anything, any day. It was not only was it fun and great culture, and we were winning.
The culture was so fun, right? I'm going to diversify and get into some other things. I kind of quit coaching. I was coaching for a while, and I had some great clients, and helped some good people out. And then I had to fire some people like, dude, I don't want to do business with you, dude. There's just no fucking way. And I won't ever throw their name out of there, but there's some bad apples out there. I make 10% of my pay of what I used to make. And I have sold everything I've got trying to survive. Now, it's just hard. But I've got to get, we've got to, this is what I got to do. I don't have a choice. It's what I know. So, I'm all in again. And it's hard. It's scary. But, I have faith, and we won't quit. Right. And so, but it's been tiring, man. It's been hard, and it's frustrating. It's been a fucking ride, dude. It's been my wife, and I feel bad. She apologized, like, Jayson, I'm so sorry you got to work so hard to start over. My son looks and is like, Dad, you work so much. Like, I feel bad. I'm like, son, I don't have a fucking choice, dude. What am I supposed to do? Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, fucking lay there? Like, this is what we have to do. And so hopefully, because God works mysterious ways, and I hate all this happened to the customers. I hate the way the company closed. We all hate that, and I pray all the time for those customers to be made whole through Generac. But closely to my family, I think that this is better than us being on our high horse and going public, for them to see me struggle, for them to see me lose it and then have to rebuild it, for them to appreciate things more. I think it's important. I think long-term, this is going to make us stronger. Sucks right now, dude. Like, sometimes I'm like, I just want to drive into a pole. I don't, but I'm like, I just kind of want to drive into the pole. Kind of had enough.
You just see it out there 200 yards away, and you're just like, that looks good.
But I have an electric car. I'm like, I'm just going to floor it and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, it was good for me to see. I remember, I came in, from what 400 or 500 employees to 2,600 employees, but on the decline, and we had to. That was a fun ride, and I got to enjoy the highlight reel, um, and then not a whole lot of people got a chance to see the low light reel, and I mean that's when I learned like a different level of hard work. Like I always knew beforehand. I was like, CEO of a company. I knew who you were outside of it, and then I was inside of it, and then you get bits and pieces of sort of the glamorous of what all the seeds that were planted and the see the fruit of the labor. But when from February to September that last year, late night calls, spreadsheets, going through numbers, like around the clock, like constantly looking at what can we change, what Hail Mary can we throw today. Like those were things that was just like, this is another level of work that I've never even seen, and not only see, but now I've got to do. I've got to be a part of this, and I've got to grind. And man, that like it was a great learning lesson for me. I think it'll be awesome for your kids and your family and the people that are surround you now. But man, it's next level, and everyone thinks they work hard until they get around another hard worker, right? And you're like, I wasn't even doing shit.
Yeah. Yeah, we were, look, all the people, not many people left. Everybody stayed, right? There wasn't people like, I'm out. Like we had to lay people off and it was sad. Everyone wanted to stay.
Mm.
And, we were making decisions, and it's crazy. People are like, you start declining in February and March, and that's true. We take this giant fall in March and April, but then in May and June, we start to trickle up. In July, we trickle up. In August, like we're at like 40 or 50 million in sales. Like we had it turned around, bro. We had the SAMs working. We had it dialed in. The numbers were up. We had the A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Like we were, now, yes, people like we had to lay people off. Well, we had to because certain markets were dying and we couldn't get those people out of there, but we were opening new markets. Shit, we opened up Indiana like 6 or 8 weeks before we closed, certain spots, or Kentucky or wherever, Louisville. Like, to me, it was like we hit this thing and we were like, holy shit, we're climbing out of it. We're climbing out of it. And when I did that press conference in August about the lawsuit with Generac, and our team was fired up, remember? And we started selling Solar Edge, and we fucking crushed it in August in sales. We crushed it. And September was going to be awesome, but we ran out of money. The fucking check didn't come in from Generac. The fucking funding dried up because of all the issues. We couldn't get the installs in fast enough because we were servicing everything. We dried up. Had we got the money from Generac, we saved that thing. That would have been one of the greatest business stories of all time. You took something that was going like this and you just...
Mm-hmm.
Because during that process, even though we scheduled to change to Pink Energy in the fall of 2021, we talked about it. We're doing a name change. We're going public. We'll come up with something. We came up with Pink Energy. We agreed to do it on Earth Day. We did that in the middle of this shit. And the branding was, I'm still complimented today. Dude, the branding on Pink Energy was genius. That is the best brand I've ever seen.
I would agree.
Like we were like this.
It broadened us. It was a good move. And just... Again, like I was looking back, I was like, dude. So I was looking back at August and September on our daily text tracker. I was like, dude, we did like 40 or 50 in one day. I was like, we were doing that many at that time after all that.
Yes.
Selling virtually recorded audio and video
over the phone and over the video. That'll never be duplicated like that again, dude. It'll like I tell people that the industry is tainted, bro. It's fucking tainted with red lines.
Not to mention, dude, we flipped that like overnight. I mean, it was.
By the way, so that was
like it was like a month or two. Like we had a whole new process. It was wild.
Yeah, we saw the bad report that came out in Michigan, which was bullshit. 19 of the 21 people that called that fucking princess prima donna fucking, Hall of Shame douchebag reporter up there, which is another guy. I'm not going to say I hate, I dislike a lot. I'd like to step on his nuts. But that guy who's so full of shit, 19 of them were Generac issues. 2 were our issues, right? And made this whole big thing that was part of the tumble. And when that report came out, we were like, and Ben fired the 2 reps that were up in Michigan. The next day, he was like, why would you even say something stupid like all of Ford Field or this or that or tax credits, whatever. People make mistakes, but we have recorded calls. We have offensive coordinators, we have defense coordinators. We have double checks, triple checks, quadruple checks to make sure the consumer knows. Needless to say, when we were testing the SAM program, before any of this happened. We were testing out of Virginia Beach. We're like, this kind of works. Like, this is a good model to where we don't have to just continue to send people out all the time. We can do it internally, have our best guys on the video phones on Zoom. And so this kind of pushed us to try that. We had that big office in Charlotte, and we were like, this is a perfect spot to do this. And so we were going to ease into it, but then we talked, and really Ben was really strong about, hey, let's just do this now. Peel the Band-Aid off and do it now. So we took a dip and then bounced back. And, I think it was the best move, especially as we're rolling out Pink Energy, to do it that way and to be different than everybody else, because solar's taken bad heats because you have bad companies out there. You have bad companies out there making promises that aren't true. Their proposals are bullshit. Their tax credits are bullshit. Their shit doesn't, you have that out there. And that hurt us because of some things that were out of our control that should have been with Generac that created heat for us. All of the other industry issues out there, which I feel like we were the best of the best, dude. Like, we didn't have those issues. That hurt us. And so we were battling out of that. And it's like, everyone always says, like, what could you have done differently? And I'm like, dude, I could list 100 things we could have done differently, but not one of those things would have saved the company. It was choosing Generac. And if we would have got paid from Generac, at least half of the $51 million they owed us in that week, we'd still be open right now. Swear to God, we'd still be open right now. We were like $12 million short of being able to do what we needed to do to stay open. And it was like, did you have that? No, I didn't have it. I gave it what I had and paid the final payroll. Like, I didn't have anything else. And we tried everything. So it's crazy when you think about it, right? Like, that $1 billion, $600 million revenue, $1 billion valuation company can close like this because of $15-20 million it needed at the end.
Yeah.
We had $81 million invoiced to Generac, but see, that's just the service. Imagine the tens of millions or hundreds of millions we lost by not installing new customers that wanted it, by doing service.
Yeah, we'd
have to push those back.
Yeah, we had installers go to service just to get customer service.
It's wild.
Fast. Yeah, and then that slowed.
And the work that we put in everybody, right? Everybody was laser focused, dude. That's what you were talking about. Like, it was like surreal of how we were able to do, like, surreal on how good we got. And had we just not ran out of fucking money at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Because we anticipated getting paid from Generac. Even with the lawsuit against them, we're like, they still agreed to pay us. We have emails, Zoom calls, everything saying we're going to pay for the reimbursements. We're going to pay for this. We're going to pay for that. We're going to pay. We're going to pay. We're going to pay. And they just didn't pay us. And they knew. That's what I'm talking about. The manipulation they had. That's why it's upsetting. They knew that we would just dry up and be their scapegoat, fall on the sword for them. That's what they knew.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Man. It does. It really does. But
what are you going to do?
Well, you move to Florida is what you do, right?
That's part of it. Yeah, move to Florida.